welcome to Void MTG. Today is a deck tech for Miss Bumbleflower. Miss Bumbleflower is one Bant for a 1/5 rabbit citizen creature with vigilance, and whenever you cast a spell, target opponent draws a card. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. It gains flying until end of turn. If this is the second time the ability resolved this turn, you draw 2 cards. So very group huggy, lots of card draw. One of the win cons is to just load Miss Flower up with those +1/+1 counters and flying. And there's not much people could do about a flying vigilant giant commander punching over. So with that, let us go into our win cons. First up, there is Approach of the Second Sun, 6 and a white sorcery. If Approach of the Second Sun was cast from your hand and you've cast another spell named Approach of the Second Sun this game, you win the game. Otherwise, put Approach of the Second Sun into its owner's library, 7th from the top, and you gain 7 life. So with Miss Bumbleflower's ability and a lot of other card draw support we have in the deck, this is a feasible win. You could definitely get it out within your next turn. If you're playing the flash speed stuff we have in the deck, you could play it on your opponent's turn. Next is Ivy Lane, Denizen, and Scurry Oak. Ivy Lane is 3 and a green for a 2/3 elf warrior. Whenever another green creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. And Scurry Oak is 2 and a green for a 1/2 tree folk with Evolve, and whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on a Scurry Oak, you may create a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. So these two cards feed off each other, and you go infinite with squirrels. You also have other things that are putting +1/+1 counters on Scurry Oak, so it alone does a lot of work. Lastly, we have a little bit of a convoluted combo, but definitely something cool that you could do. So let's start with Evolution Witness. 2 and a green, Elf Shaman Mutant. That's a 2/1 with 1 and a green, Adapt 2. And whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on an Evo Witness, return target permanent card from your graveyard to hand. Then we have these 3 0 mana artifacts: Lotus Petal, Mishra's Bauble, Urza's Bauble, that tap and sacrifice for different effects. So what you would do is, in this example, let's say we have Evolution Witness on the field, Miss Bumbleflower is on the field. We have a Lotus Petal in the yard and an Urza's Bauble in hand. What we would do is we'd drop down the Urza's Petal for 0. Miss Bumbleflower goes off. We put the +1/+1 counter onto Evolution Witness. We get back that Lotus Petal from the yard, and we just do that however many times we need to make our opponents draw their whole deck, so they have nothing left to draw and they lose. Super fun. A lot of work to set up, but once you have it, you're good. All right, let's get into some draw. This necessarily isn't all the draw in the deck. This is just some more key pieces. First up, we have Ohm's Collector and Fairy Mastermind, both played at flash speed. Ohm's Collector will let us draw cards if our opponents are drawing 2 or more, and Fairy Mastermind will let us draw if our opponents are drawing their second card for turn, which is great. They both work well with Miss Bumbleflower, letting us draw on our opponent's turns as well as our turn. After that, we have Danny Pink and Consecrated Sphinx. Danny Pink will draw you a card the first time you put a counter on a creature. We have lots of counters to throw out, so lots of cards to draw. As well as Consecrated Sphinx, he is a large lad, high mana cost for a 4/6 flyer, which is great to punch with, but he is going to draw us 2 cards every time one of our opponents draws a card. And the best part is it's a May, so if your hand is getting a little wild, you can opt out. Last is kind of our Staxy draw pieces with a Rhystic Study and Narset. Narset really isn't here for her minus ability. She's more here for not letting our opponents draw cards.
All right, so let's get to Hug. Again, not all the hug cards in the deck, but some of the best hug cards in the deck.
Communal Brewing was my favorite card from the pre-con. It's excellent. Generous Patron is the very first thing I added to this deck because Miss Bumbleflower's ability doesn't let you just put counters on your own creatures. You put counters on your opponent's creatures. So this is great for politicking and drawing cards. Next is Tempting Contract. Your friends are greedy. They're always going to pick to make a treasure token. And then Lunch, he gives a lot of value. Another great political piece. Kroos was definitely another great addition. Putting shield counters and goading your opponent's stuff so nothing can really get to you. Root Weaver Druid, I like for ramp. You are giving your opponents extra land, but it is a fun card and it gets the table talking. Okay, so here's some other fun stuff for the deck. That doesn't really fall into any of these other categories. We got Psychosis Crawler and Scrawling Crawler. Our opponents are going to be drawing a lot of cards, so let's just punish them. Then we have Leyland of Anticipation, Vidalcan Orrery. We're just going to play a Flash Speed. We'll get Bumbleflower triggers on our opponent's turn, throwing in a Seedborn Muse just to make sure that everything's untapping so we can continue to play at Flash Speed. Things like Mana Gorge or Hydro, which came in the pre-con, and Champion of Landholt, we could just grow them bigger and bigger and bigger. And Herald of Secret Streams. All our things are going to have counters. So, unblockable, fantastic. Alondra Archmage, we could sacrifice her to counter. We do have a great suite of counters in the deck, but this is even better because with Miss Bumbleflower, we could get that -1/-1 off her and just have her keep coming back. So we could keep countering things and not rely on drawing our instants. And last, just some quick ramp additions. Smothering Ties and Free Strider Lookout. Both great. Let's make some treasures. And Miss Bumbleflower's ability is committing a crime. So ramping with Free Strider is pretty great. Plus, you get to filter. And then, of course, a burgeoning. Everybody's playing lands. I'm going to play lands. It's great. And then some creature ramp. We have Basking Brood Scale, putting those +1/+1 counters on him, either with his ability or Miss Bumbleflower, creating those Eldrazi spawn to crack for colorless, and Kamiya Whispered Hope, putting counters onto him to tap him for a lot of mana. That's all. Thank you for watching. This is just something that I had to get out of my head. Maybe I'll make another video with one of my decks. Maybe not. I don't know. Like, subscribe. I don't care.